Hey, what's up, guys? I'll give it a minute to even alert people. Yeah, I'm being nosy because I like see people in my neighborhood. It's very strange. That was somebody sitting out in front of my house. Who's this guy? Never seen this car before. Anyway. So, I thought I would jump on and just do a little bit of a talk about fasting. What is it? Isn't it starving yourself? Why should you do it? And, and what it's done for me. Okay. First, let me say that through this awesome journey, I have been approached by so many, and I've actually been actively helping people with fasting and kind of getting their mind wrapped around the how to do it and how to be successful at it, that type of thing. And so I've already been coaching, but I am going to go ahead and complete my fitness certification so I can be an official. I don't know who that is out there. So I can, my husband's like, who's out in front of my house? So I'm going to get my certification. I'm also getting a nutritionist certification. It's all part of the same package, CPR. And then I also am getting I have a couple of life coach packages I'm doing as well. I just signed up for a Tony Robbins class, not like the $10,000 one, but like a life coaching. What's his name? Tony Robbins. I was doing that today while I was working, and then I have another master class that I'm doing. So soon I will officially be a life coach and a fitness trainer, along with my fasting and mindset coaching. So it's all part of the same vein, So, so that's what I'm doing. I'm just letting y'all know. But as far as the fasting part, and hello everybody that's jumping on, I'm glad to see y'all here. Just to kind of reiterate where I started, I was 330 pounds, y'all know, back in September of last year, September of 2019. It is now, what month is this? It's the end of July. And I have burned 152 pounds, okay? And that's pretty quickly and easily. It wasn't that big of a struggle. In the beginning, I said, 330 pounds. I had back injuries, knee injuries. I couldn't do the working out thing, right? I was in a place where I had so much weight to lose that it seemed impossible. Okay, it was like the Red Sea needed to be parted. Okay. So there I was, like I said, body was broke down, overweight. I never was actually diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure I was type 2 diabetic because I had all the symptoms. If I didn't eat, I was about to pass out. I had mood swings, constantly just peeing all night long. I mean, all those classic blurry vision. I just had all those classic symptoms. And so I was so sick, right? I was so sick. And then my body was like, every time I would eat, I got sicker, okay? I would feel myself and I'd be like, oh, I feel like I shouldn't eat, but that's crazy, right? Like, you gotta eat to keep your strength up, right? So I basically was like looking for anything to help me. And I had went on to YouTube, and I just started searching how to lose weight. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe somebody knows. I learned everything else at YouTube University, I can change your spark plugs, all right? So I was like, I'll try to see if somebody's figured something out, right? So I start seeing these people talking about water fasting. They do like a 30-day water fast and lose like 50 pounds. And I'm like, what? Like, first of all, what is fasting? And they're losing 50 pounds. I mean, for me at that time, I was gaining 10 pounds a month almost. I mean, I couldn't lose weight for nothing. I was 42, and I had been 300 to 330 pounds. I kept losing that same weight over and over again. I'd lose 30 pounds, gain 30 pounds. Lose 30 pounds, gain 30 pounds. That's what kept happening with me. I could not go past, like I would get to 300 and then go right back up. Okay, that's you know, like I said, couldn't work out. I was damaged. So I started learning about this water fasting. Now somebody else is pulling up in front of my house. This is getting very interesting. What is happening here? You see, I'm like one of those neighbors. It's like, why are you here? If somebody were to knock on my door, I would freak. Now this person is parking. Who is this person? Can I help you? Oh, I think he's delivering for next door. Okay. Anyway. Sorry. You see my hold? I'm like, who's out there? So anyway. So, yeah. So, trying to rewind. So I started looking into fasting. I start researching it. Let me get finished with my live and then I'll make you some dinner, okay?
But Mama, you said you never lied.
Listen, I didn't lie. I'm trying to do a live. See how they do me? I just get distracted. It's so hard to keep a train of thought around here. So, shh. I'm trying to teach people here. I'm sorry, guys. Stop. So anyway, so yeah, so I started looking into fasting. Stop it. I started looking into fasting and started learning about it, okay? And you know, I started trying it out. Let me tell you what fasting is. It is not starving yourself. Your body is smart enough to know that when you're not eating, that it should go look for stuff that should be used for energy, okay? Now, if you look around, everybody's overweight, okay? Why is everybody overweight? It's because we're so full of sugar, okay? Sugar is a drug. They put sugar in all of the food. Every time you eat food that's full of sugar, your body goes from fat burning mode to fat saving mode, okay? So think of it this way. There's a guy named Dr. Fung. He's on YouTube. If you have diabetes or anything like that, you should look him up. And he explains it really well, probably way better than I would. But basically what happens when you're so flooded with sugar all the time, it causes your body to have an insulin response. When your body is flooded with insulin, your body starts to malfunction pretty much. It's trying to shove that insulin into your cells and it can't. So eventually it gets to where your body can't put the insulin into the cells anymore, and you're flooded with insulin, and that's when you start getting all these malfunctions. We've got diabetes, and you start getting sick, and that kind of thing. So what can you do? Well, you lower the insulin response. You lower the sugar, okay? That's why keto diets or low-carb diets work so well, because what it does is almost mimics a fast, because it keeps that insulin response down. I know there's a lot of people that are very into like fruits, right? Fruit causes a very high insulin response. It's going to cause sugar. So, yeah, they're great for you, but maybe in the beginning you should cut them out, you know? So, if I were 330 pounds again, what I would do is suggest that you start fasting. If you just were to, like right now, say you ate 3 meals a day. You don't need 3 meals a day, okay? Sorry, folks, you don't. What time do you eat in the morning? Basically, every night you sleep, okay? About 8 hours, right? You sleep about 8 hours, and then when you wake up, you've already been fasted for at least, even if you went to sleep right before you went to bed, you've been fasting for at least about 8 hours, right? Don't eat the moment you wake up. Don't do it. Wait. Push it back. I wake up for work about 6 or 7 in the morning. If I'm going to eat that day, I don't eat until like around noon. Noon's a great time. In the beginning, when I was still, you know, so heavy and everything, I basically did OMAD, which is 1 meal a day. OMAD is pretty forgiving. 1 meal a day. Now, I was a food junkie back then. I was a fast food junkie. I wasn't even good with my food choices. That's another reason why fasting works so well for me. I'm trying to go back. See, back then, I ate fast food for like 3 meals a day. For breakfast, I would stop at Jack in the Box every day and get a extreme sausage sandwich combo with a large mocha iced coffee. Okay, that was my order every morning. And then for lunch, I would go to Mr. Ho's, which is downstairs. It was downstairs of our building, and I would order lunch. And then for dinner, we would either, cook or eat out, whatever. So basically, I'm just getting all this food, never feeling satisfied, because really they put sugar in it. Think of sugar like crack. You can never get enough, okay? Never, okay? So think of it like that. Think of it like a drug. Like, you got to understand that it's really like a drug. They've actually done studies where they took mice and they gave them the option between cocaine and sugar. Guess what? They like sugar, okay? So you'll sugar yourself to death. You'll eat yourself to death. Now, you got to understand, they put sugar in everything. They put sugar in salad dressing. They put sugar in toothpaste. They put sugar in everything. See, back in the day, back in like the 50s or 60s, Ansel Keys, look it up, he was a doctor, and he was basically in bed with the sugar companies. And they convinced everybody that fat made you fat, and that sugar was the healthy alternative. So they took out the fat out of the food, which made it taste like crap, and they added sugar. Well, that made people addicted, and then they were just buying, eating. And the food people figured out they had a win-win situation. How much water do I take in every day? I do not force water, okay? I drink my water for thirst. Like, I always have water, but I'm not sitting there like trying to force feed myself water, okay? I'm not one of those people that's like an advocate of a full gallon every day. And here's the reason why. And y'all feel free to ask questions, because I'm here to help you guys. Just consider, I'm Coach Webster, okay? I am your Faith Fasting Fitness is my group. I'm also on Instagram, and I have a group here on Facebook, okay, which y'all are welcome to join. But feel free to ask questions. But yeah, I do not encourage you to just sit there and drink water. And the reason why is I had watched this video years ago, and it was a guy in India. He was like I don't know his name, but he was like a guy that you could tell he was like a teacher or some sort of spiritual leader, okay? And he was explaining that they don't ever, you'll never see them walking around with a water bottle in their hand, forcing themselves to drink water, because it's not natural. It's not a natural way to drink water. You're basically just like flooding your body for no reason. You're supposed to drink because you're thirsty, not because you're trying to force feed yourself water, okay? I'll have to look for that guy. It's been a long time since I've read that, or since I watched it, but I always remembered it. So, it is good to have electrolytes in your water, so you can get stuff to add the salts. I make sure that when I do eat, I put salt on my food. Every morning, I have a cacao drink, which is, who likes chocolate? Now listen to this, ladies. I used to gain every month, even when fasting. I would gain like 10 pounds every month from my cycle, right? Every month I put on like 10 pounds and then I have to fight it back off. With fasting, I had got it down to maybe like 7 pounds, I would still put on that weight. Well, I added cocoa to my daily routine. So every morning I make a pot of a cacao, which is like a raw version of cocoa, and I put that, whipping cream, which I have a post about it earlier, but whipping cream, that I do put instant coffee in there. I have a cacao butter. I'm just out of it right now. I put cinnamon helps with the blood sugar, and I put salts, Himalayan salts, for your electrolytes, and I put new salt, which is like the fake salt, because that gives you potassium, okay? And so I drink that every morning. Now here's the thing about cacao. cacao, chocolate, gives you happy endorphins, right? It makes you happy. That's why you give it to your loved ones for holidays, right? So that makes you happy. It makes you feel good. And it's yummy. I mean, it's satisfying, right? So I don't feel deprived. You can't feel deprived when you're drinking the chocolate frappuccino every morning. I just don't put sugar in it, okay? I call it my hot salted mocha coffee, all right? But I pour it over ice because I'm a frappuccino girl, really. So, Starbucks who, okay? I got Starbucks beat hands down with my drink that I make. And I drink it pretty much, I mean, I kind of drink on it all day. And that's another reason why I don't feel this urge to eat, because the cocoa is so satisfying. I watched a video that was like a whole thing about cacao, and it was explaining how back whenever the conquistadors came to this continent and they ran into the Aztecs, they were totally floored by cacao, because they were like, they had never seen a drink or you know, something that man could drink and he could go all day with no food. Like, they were really amazed by it. And then they wound up taking it back to Europe, and then it became like a huge thing there because they got it from the Aztecs. So just a little tidbit. They called it the food of the gods. That's what they called it. It was so valuable to the Aztecs, they actually used it as currency. Cacao beans, okay? So check out cacao. It's cocoa, but the more raw, unprocessed version, okay? Now, if all you can get a hold of is the cocoa brand from the normal stores, get it. You know what I'm saying? Anything's better than nothing. But cacao is just basically spelt a little different. It's definitely better. You can get it from Walmart, but it is a little bit more expensive. So, you know, but your health is worth it. Okay, I can drink on it for about a month. So, I mean, I'm still saving money over a Starbucks, right? So, yeah. So there's that. So let me go back to how when I started. I started with OMAD, 1 meal a day. Back then, I was a fast food junkie. I had no control over what my food choices were, because that's what got me into trouble to begin with, right? So I had heard that OMAD was pretty forgiving. I mean, you're only eating once a day, so then your body only has to deal with the spike in your insulin once a day. You get what I'm saying? So the rest of the day it can do other stuff, but I'm only hitting it one day with a problem. So the first 3 months when I first started fasting, I was doing OMAD, and I was doing, which is 1 meal a day, and I was doing a half-assed job at it. I wasn't like doing it hardcore. It was just, you know, I started kind of like not eating dinner, and then eventually I stopped eating lunch. And then I was down to 1 meal. Now that 1 meal was still Jack in a Box, my extreme sausage sandwich combo with my large iced mocha coffee. I was eating that, I swear to you, almost every day. Or I would go to McDonald's and I would get, now I order in special ways because I like to get a bang for my buck. I would get an egg McMuffin, because that's $1. I would get an egg, because that was like $1.29, and then I would get a hash brown. When you got the hash brown and the sandwich together, they gave it to you for $1.50, and then I would add a small coffee, right? They would try to ring it up the other way, and I'd be like, no, Gwen knows how to save money, okay? So, see how evolved that was? So I would do this every day. I would have this breakfast, okay? I messed around after 3 months, looked up and realized I had lost 50 pounds. I didn't even I'm telling you, I was eating fast food, okay? So I dropped 50 pounds. Then I'm getting excited. I'm like, okay, I need to add probably about somewhere in there. I started adding movement too. Now, like I said, I had a damaged back. My back was so, if y'all don't, some of y'all remember in 2013, I was in a really bad car accident. I was hit from behind by somebody, and I was at a dead stop on the highway. They hit me from behind, 635, y'all know the highway if you're in Dallas. Hit me from behind so hard my car spun across the highway. I mean, I really thought that was my day. Like, I thought I was dead. Okay, that's how bad it was. And basically that debilitated my back. That took me from being a overweight person who was athletic to an overweight person that was debilitated, okay? I spent years in pain. I couldn't sleep at night. If you can't sleep, you can't heal. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't move. I was broken. My body was very heavily damaged. So, let me also say, for those that you don't know, if you don't know, I am a huge Jesus lover, okay? So I did, in the beginning of all this, also throw myself into the mercy of Jesus and ask him to please walk me to health. And I would proclaim it to everybody. Well, and he was like, let me walk you to health, and here I am. So 152 pounds later, hallelujah, Jesus, all right? So that's very important that you ask him to walk you, because just like he healed then, he heals now, okay? That's why you're seeing this right now, is because Jesus wants you to see it, okay? So just remember that. So anyway, thank you, Jesus. So I realized that I needed to have movement in my life. Now, I was too broken and brittle to do any kind of heavy working out. My knees couldn't handle working out. My back couldn't handle working out, okay? I was 330 pounds and broken. So I realized, I told my husband one day, he was going to the store, I was like, hey, can you pick me up a workout ball? I used to always keep a yoga ball at the house, y'all. The yoga ball is that ball, big ball that you sit on and you do workout. Well, so he picked me one up from Walmart, the heavy duty one, the anti-burst, okay? Make sure you get that one, especially if you're heavier. And all I could do in the beginning was just sit on it, okay? I literally was sitting on it watching TV. That was the beginning of the body transformation, okay? I know you're like, what? You just sitting on the ball? But the ball, you have to stabilize yourself. You have to hold yourself up. There's no relaxing. It's not like sitting back in this chair right here. You have to hold yourself up. So just by sitting there and having to balance, you're keeping your core engaged, your leg engaged, all this stuff. So every day I'm just sitting there watching on the ball. It was very awkward in the beginning sitting on that ball, but eventually, after a couple, maybe days, weeks, whatever, now I'm not just sitting on the ball, I'm bouncing on the ball, right? Like while I watch TV, I'm bouncing, I'm wiggling, and then, I get to wiggle and moving, I'm doing all kinds of stuff on the ball now, whereas it's kind of think of it like stripper dancing, but with clothes on, okay, on the ball. Totally fun, okay? Same here. I had back surgery in 2012. Yes, working out can be very hard. And then to tell somebody when they're already overweight that the way to lose weight is just to exercise, well, I'm sorry, it just wasn't going to work for me because I was already so damaged. So I'll be sitting on this ball every day, and kind of I start realizing after maybe it's within that same 3 months that I was doing the OMAD, and I am starting to slim up some. And I'm starting to realize my back is feeling more fluid. I can do more movement on the ball than I could. I'm not sitting on it anymore. I'm dancing on it. So I'm realizing that my back is getting stronger. I'm so much stronger, right? Well, then I go to my son's football game, and he was at this stadium where you have to walk down the stairs, and there's no handrails or anything, right? This had been torture for me over the years because getting down those steps was scary enough, but then I knew I'd have to get back up them, right? And then who always has to go to the bathroom? The kid, the little one. So I knew that I would have to go back up those steps too, and so I always hated those steps at the football game. So I go to the football game. Now, mind you, I'd already been on this ball for a while. And I'm thinking, oh, the stairs, it's going to be bad. So I start trying to go down the stairs. Guess what? The stairs were not a problem. I realize I'm going down these stairs, and it feels like I'm already used to stairs, right? It didn't feel like it had been years since I had been on the stairs. So then I'm realizing, oh my God, not only did the ball rehab my core and make my back strong, it had worked on my knees too. I had no idea. I had no idea it had worked on my knees, okay? I didn't know that at all until I got on those stairs. And then they were fine. They were not a problem. So then I got really excited because now I can get upstairs. So at work, on my breaks, I would go in the stairwell, and I would just go up a flight and come down a flight, right? And then eventually, I was going up 2 flights and coming down a flight. And going up and down, right? And I did this day to day. It started with 1 flight, okay? There was another floor on my building that there was no people on, and it just had like this little, like, it was a hallway, but it was really like a walking track, okay? So I would use the stairs, boop, 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 go down 3 floors, boop, 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 boop. I would get on the little walking track, which was really just a hallway, and I would put on my headphones, I would turn on the timer on my phone, and I would walk my whole break every day. And I would do that since I wasn't eating. I was only eating 1 meal a day, and I was doing that for breakfast, right? So that freed me up on my lunches and my breaks. Those I was using to walk, okay? So now I'm eating 1 meal a day. I've got some exercise going in my life. Fun, good stuff. It made me feel great at work, right? It made my day go by so much faster because I would work for 2 hours. I'd go walk laps. And then I would work for 2 hours. You're telling some of our exact same story. Yes, girl. I will work, every 2 hours I would get to go work out again. Now, I did it inside the building. I was not hot and sweaty, you know what I'm saying? But it really made my day go by. It made me feel good. It made me happy, right? Now, I don't really attribute the working out part to losing the weight, but it did make me happy. It made my body strong. It made me feel great. You know, and that coupled with the fact that the scale was actually going down for the first time. I'm 42, okay? I have not had any, I told you I was fighting that same 30 pounds for so long, okay? For years, I've been fighting the same 300, 330, 300, 330, 300, 330, 280, 330, you know what I'm saying? Every time. So now I'm doing the 1 meal a day. I'm moving, I'm shaking, I'm walking. People are like, Lynn, what is happening? And I'm like, I'm fasting. And they're like, oh my God, you're gonna die. And I'm like, no, I'm not dying. I'm actually getting healthier, okay? So, like I said, 1 meal a day. I'm 50 pounds down, 3 months. So then January comes, and Gwen is like stoked, okay? Because now I done went from 330 to 280, right? Okay? And I'm 5'4". And that took me from a size 26 to maybe I was size 26, and those were tight, to, I didn't even know, my clothes were hanging off me like a hobo, right? So then I hit January, and I got really, really excited, and I started doing back-to-back 72-hour fasts, okay, where I would drink nothing but water for 3 days. I would eat a low-carb meal, so a refeed is what we call that, and then I would do another 3-day fast, and another 3-day fast, and another 3-day fast, right? In January, I dropped 33 pounds alone, okay? And the reason why I did it that way is I knew a lot of people that were doing, hold on a second. I knew a lot of people that were doing long fasts, 30 days, 20 days. My mind couldn't handle that. That gave me too much panic. I couldn't even formulate, like, I'm going to go 30 days without food. That was too much panic, okay? So I was like, well, how can I do this successfully? Because that's the thing. Like, people will fast one time. They'll fast for like 10 days, right? They may lose like 20 pounds. But then they go right back to their normal eating style. And yes, it was great for them. Don't get me wrong. Any fasting you do is great for you. But if you only do it once, you only did it once, okay? And eventually you're going to get right back to where you were at because you went right back to your normal habit. So, back to January. So, January I'm doing the back-to-back 72-hour fast. And I won't say that they were perfect, okay? Because they're never perfect. But that was the intention, the goal, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it might have been 2 days. Sometimes it might have been 4. But the goal was 3, right? Let me talk about the meals I was eating then, okay? The meals were terrible. I told you I was a fast food junkie back then, okay? That's why fasting worked for me, because Gwen was terrible at food choices. So I would fast for 3 days. And I remember my first one that I broke, I was like, I went straight to Popeyes. I had a tender meal with mashed potatoes and gravy and a biscuit and the whole deal, right? Boy, after I ate that, oh man, Gwenny's stomach hurt so bad, okay? So bad. And so then I was like, ugh, never eating that again. And I'd do another 3-day fast, right? And this time, I would break it at McDonald's, okay? And then, oh, that hurt my stomach. 3 days later, I was at Jack in the Box. Oh, that hurt my stomach. 3 days later, I'm at Raising Cane's. You get what I'm saying? Like, I went through the whole kit and caboodle, okay? But every time, it would make my stomach hurt so bad that it broke me of the addiction to that particular meal. Because I had meals that were my meals, right? Like certain meals at different places. I don't eat different things at the same restaurant. I eat the same thing at different restaurants, right? Like if I go to Applebee's, I'm getting steak, okay? I get the same things everywhere I go. So after a month of killing my stomach, right? Because if you fast for 3 days and then you eat trash, your stomach will let you know that was a no-no. So that month, January, I lost 33 pounds eating fast food every 3 days. But it also, that month, broke my fast food addiction, okay? Gwen no longer wanted fast food. Okay. So at this point, okay, it's the end of January and I'm down like 80 pounds, right? And like I said, the first 3 months was a oopsie. No, that would have been, yeah. First 3 months, 50 pounds, and then January, 33 pounds. So after January, I started to hit I hit a wall where I couldn't do longer fasts anymore. I'm like, what is happening, right? I could do it. What happened? And I realized I had to kind of do this thing in cycles. So January, I switched back to OMAD, 1 meal a day. But now I'm doing better meals. I'm doing what I have developed a go-to meal. Okay? So whatever you do, come up with a go-to meal. So my go-to meal is eggs and bacon. Okay? I'm a breakfast girl. I love breakfast. Okay? Another go-to meal could be like steak and broccoli. You know what I'm saying? So when I break fast now, I always go for that meal. I don't allow myself variety to go to all those other things because I'm a junkie. I'm a food junkie, okay? Gwen cannot be trusted, okay? Or the old Gwen couldn't be trusted. So I got my go-to meal. And to this day, that really is my go-to meal, okay? So I started doing OMAD, okay? I'm still steadily losing weight. And when Corona hit, so we're talking like March, I was down, right at 100 pounds. I was like at 90-something pounds, okay? So that's from September to March, I lost right at 100 pounds, okay? How many months is that? I don't know. Y'all figure it out. I don't know. But, so, September to March, 100 pounds. So Corona hits. And then everything goes crazy. You can't find bacon. Do you drink protein shakes instead of eating? No. Just my cacao drink. And if y'all are just jumping on, you're definitely going to watch this from the beginning too, because there's a lot of good information. But, no, I don't typically drink protein drinks. I don't really like the flavor of them. Now, eventually I would like to kind of transition. This is just me. Eventually I would like to transition to a pretty much an all liquid diet. And then I will probably be doing protein shakes. My shopping club that I'm in, I just ordered some low sugar shakes. They look like they would be in line with the style that I like my low carb lifestyle. So I'm going to give that a whirl and see how I like it and go with that. So if y'all want to know more about the shopping club, for sure let me know about that. But I am getting those. I also got some electrolytes coming too, because I do need salt. You need salt, okay? Oh God, I lost my train of thought. Y'all, I'm like that person that's like, squirrel. But I'm happy, so it's all good. Let's see. Oh, Corona hit. So then the food addict in me starts kicking up, like, oh my God, we're gonna die, we're all gonna die, there's no toilet paper and there's no bacon. I couldn't find bacon and eggs. Now that was traumatic. And so right when Corona hit, I did kind of lose my way for a little bit, and I put on about maybe 10 pounds back on. Hi Kim, that's okay, I love you, come back later. So I put on like maybe 10 or 15 pounds when Corona hit, but then I'm like, no man, no, I ain't trying to gain this weight back. So what did I do? I switched back to OMAD. I couldn't, the junkie in me, the fast food junkie, or not fast food, but the food junkie, the food addict, she couldn't handle not eating at all at that time because all that panic that was going on, right? So I started eating the 1 meal a day again. My body righted itself. Bloop, that weight came right back off. Bloop, came right back off, and I was right back down to the 100 pounds. So yeah, I did spike, but then right there. I mean, I was maybe like a month that it took for me to kind of, or 3 weeks maybe, to get myself back together. So then I had somebody invite me to a weight loss challenge, and there was no rules. There was no rules, y'all. No rules. You could lose weight however. So I'm like, wow, this is my chance to pit fasting, my program, the one that I'm running, my fasting, my faith fasting fitness program that I've created. It was my chance to put it up against whatever else these other folks had, right? I don't know what they're doing, but they paid money to be in the contest, okay? And then we're all against each other, okay? That's what it was. So I get in the contest, right? And I'm seeing all these people, and they're making these posts about how hard they're going to work out, and they've got all these strenuous workouts planned, and they're doing all these boot camps and everything, which is great. I mean, that's great, right? But I was like, you girls can work hard. That sounds stressful. I'm just going to sit back and chill and do my fasting, right? So, needless to say, it was a 2-month program, a contest, right? I won. I won first place. I think in total, I lost maybe like 16% body fat during that 2 months. I think it was, I don't know, it was like 30 pounds, 30-something pounds. I don't know, I'd have to go back and look at it. But everybody else, I think the next closest one might have been like 20 pounds. And then I was over there at like over 30, right? So I easily beat everybody else. And when I tell you Gwen does not work out, Gwen does not work out. Like, I dance out. I've got my movement. We play music all the time. So I'm constantly bouncing, okay? I have a mirror on the wall, and I dance in front of it. Or while I'm doing laundry, I'm dancing. Or while I'm doing the dishes, I'm dancing. I'm always dancing. I had a friend in one of my fasting groups that she's a jump roper. She jump ropes like crazy. Well, I had a jump rope, but it broke, right? Like, as soon as I bought it. So I was like, well, I don't have a jump rope. So I was like, I'll just jump, right? I'll just jump and pretend like I got a jump rope, right? So then I started jumping like I had a jump rope. And I became addicted. Like, I became addicted. So now, when I dance, I call it jump dance. I dance jump, right? So the whole time I'm dancing, I'm like boop, 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 prancing. So my feet are coming off the ground, right? And I don't have to worry about trying not to trip on a rope. But I am mimicking jump roping. So you've got somebody who went from 330 pounds with a broken back and tore up knees, who is now 180 pounds. I gained like 2 pounds, but that's okay. 180 pounds right now, and I'm like a dancing, jumping queen, okay? I literally, probably like 2 months ago, I choked myself on some vitamins, and I'm still dealing with that, but right before that, I went to the park, and I literally ran a whole lap around the park, which was like a quarter of a mile, and I did it with no problem. I could breathe just fine. My body did just fine. It was like I had been running already. And I attribute that to the jump dancing because I had not been running, okay? But just the fact that I'm standing there, think about boxers, you know what I'm saying? What do? You're standing there. That it's such a conditioning for your body. My legs have not looked this good like ever, okay? I got skinny ankles. I've never had skinny ankles, okay? Ever. Let me see if I can show you these things. Okay? I mean, my legs are so much better than they have ever been in my whole life. Like, it's crazy to me. When I look at them, it's crazy. So, anyway, yeah, I mean, just working out in my house, jump dancing, conditioned me where I was able to run around the park with no problem, okay? I didn't have to go anywhere. I do that right in the garage where I hang out at my house. So, I mean, that's the beauty of movement. Just keep adding more and more movement to your life. It doesn't have to be stressful, hard stuff. Think about it this way. Your body has fight or flight mode, right? And your body doesn't know what's really happening, okay? So when you start doing these hard workouts where you're like, oh, right? Your body thinks you're being chased by tigers or something, okay? So it's not going to be sitting there like, I need to burn fat. It's like, I need to get out of here before I get murdered and ate by this large animal, okay? That's not the type of thing I'm trying to do. You're flooding yourself with cortisol. What is it? Cortisone? Something like that. You know what I'm talking about. It's a stress hormone, okay? Stress hormone hits, you don't lose weight. So, me, I do the dancing. I do fun stuff. I want to enjoy what I'm doing. I don't want to feel like I did something stressful, okay? I'm not here to stress. I'm here to have a wonderful time. Yeah, so don't work out, dance out, fun out, move out, have a good time, but don't work out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, let's see here. Now, what I'm doing with the fasting is I have figured out, because right now I'm at 152 pounds. And I still want to lose about 60 more, right? My goal is to get down to 130 so I can burn off any excess skin, which fasting does. Fasting actually means self-eating, okay? Let me explain this to you. Why does fasting work? Think of it this way. People think that if you don't eat, your body's going to shut down and kill you, okay? If that were the case, we would not be here. Think about your ancestors. Your ancestors did not have a Whole Foods, okay? They only ate when food was available. And they only ate what was in season, okay? So in the wintertime, you weren't eating plants. What plants were alive in the winter? You would have been eating meat, and you would have only been eating meat as long as it was good and as often as you could find it. In the springtime, it would have been some fruit growing and things like that. You would have ate that. You would have got that sweet, and that would have kind of fattened you up a little bit in the spring. So that way in the winter, you would have a little extra weight. So that way in the winter, when you couldn't eat, you would slim back down, okay? Here in America, we never have a hard winter, okay? So your body never goes through it's supposed to go through feast and famine. That's natural. So if it didn't work like that, we wouldn't be here. Our ancestors would have died out a long time ago because they didn't, like I said, they didn't have a Whole Foods. Now, if you were walking around with extra weight on you, think of it like this. If I have a fridge, my fridge in the kitchen, right? If it's full of food, and I have a deep freeze in the back that's full of food, right? Your fat on your body is your deep freeze. Now, if I keep filling up the fridge, and I keep grabbing the food out of the freezer in the front, then I'm never, ever gonna use what's in the deep freeze, right? I'm not gonna use the deep freeze because I'm over here eating what's in the fridge, okay? So I just keep eating. Now think of what's in the fridge is like quick energy, okay? Sugar type foods. I eat what's in the fridge. I eat what's in the fridge. I eat what's in the fridge. It's like bringing too much stuff to the construction site but never actually building anything, right? So I keep eating. I keep eating. I keep eating. But I never gave my body a chance to use what was actually in the deep freeze, okay? I got to close the front fridge. I got to close the freezer that's in the kitchen and actually start letting my body go and hunt for what's in the deep freeze, okay? This fat that you carry around is your deep freeze. If you keep shoveling it in, you will never use what's in the deep freeze, okay? You were created by God. God's creations are not stupid. If you didn't, think about it this way. If you had a cold winter and you need fire, you're not going to go break up the furniture in your house that you sit on. You're going to go get wood from outside, okay? Your body knows what to do. So let me explain what happens when you fast. When you stop putting food in, okay, the body starts to realize, oh crap, we're not getting any more food from the freezer. What do we need to do? So then what it starts to do, when it starts realizing that food source is not coming in, it starts to go hunting in the body. Okay, so it starts saying, I got all this fat sitting around. That's a good energy source. This is why keto works, low carb. Okay, so then the body starts going and looking for that fat that it can burn. Now, once you have fasted, I think like 24 hours, somewhere in there, don't quote me on that, something happens called autophagy. This is what you need. This is where, well, first of all, autophagy happens and human growth hormone shoots through the roof. Do y'all know what human growth hormone is? Human growth hormone is, thank you. I'm feeling pretty cute too. Human growth hormone is what the kids have that keeps them looking young and good. It's what makes your body heal. It does all. Think of it like the construction crew, okay? It's like the guys that go out and build the new shiny buildings, all right? Now, you can't build shiny new buildings if you're full of crap, okay? So, this is what happens. You start fasting, okay? Then it's like this whole little army builds up in your body, and it's like, we got to go start looking for stuff that needs to be torn down. So then these little fighters go out. Think of it like a little cleanup. Think of it like a sanitation crew. Your sanitation crew says, you know what? We need food. We got plenty of cells around here that aren't acting right. Let's go ahead and go eat them. Okay? So then your little fighter cells go out and they're like, hey, Mr. Protein, look, Mr. Cell, you're not acting like you should be. I'm finna eat you. Right? So then your body, after 3 days, if you fasted for 3 days, your body will literally eat all the old immune cells and create a whole new immune system. What? Now you don't have all these weak immune fighters. You got these big badasses that are like, I'm young, I'm fresh, I'm hot, and I'm ready to kick some virus asses. Okay? So, you know what? I'm not going to get sick. You know why? Because I got immunity. My body is going out there and kicking ass. Okay? Come over here if you want to. Come over here if you want to. Okay? Because these little fighters are going to come out and they're going to eat you. Okay? I know that's like, what are you talking about, Gwen? But it really does. It's true. It's called autophagy. Now, at the same time, your autophagy is going on. Your cleaning crew is out there tearing down old buildings and taking it all out and moving it out the body. You also have human growth hormone kicking in, right? Now, let me tell you something. As you get older, you start creating less and less growth hormone, okay? People will pay like $500 just to get shots of somebody else's human growth hormone so that way they can try to mimic those benefits, okay? But all you got to do is not eat for like 24 hours and your human growth hormone goes up like 5% or 500. It's ridiculous how much it goes up, okay? So guess what? You want to know why Gwen looks so much younger? It's because Gwen, hold on, let me check my battery here. I got 6%. If it cuts off, I don't know. I look so much younger because my body is rebuilding. It's tearing down the old cells and building new cells, okay? I look younger now than I did a year ago. Like, way younger, okay? Way younger. The wrinkles are gone. I mean, my face looks youthful. Nobody can believe I'm 42 years old now, okay? And I used to look 42, okay? So, yeah. So ladies, you want to look better, fast a little bit, okay? So when you start fasting 3 days, you done created a whole new immune system for yourself. You're building all kinds of new cities around here. You got new fighter cells. Your cells that didn't work they've killed themselves. And now you're creating new cells that actually function the way they are supposed to. So that's why any fasting you do is good for you. Like I was saying earlier, I did 1 meal a day, okay? If you did 1 meal a day, each day, every day, you are pretty much doing back-to-back 24-hour fast. That's all that is. Okay, that means that my body only has to deal with digestion once, and then after that it can do other stuff like tearing down old buildings and building new, better working cells. Does that make sense to you? Okay, it makes sense to me. And look, okay, it works. It works. Let me think. I'm trying to think. Y'all got any questions? Given all the cheat codes made especially for us by God. Amen. Amen. And I feel so called to share this with people, right? Because we all need it. People don't know about fasting. Like it's a lost art. They really don't know how good this is. People are telling me, you know how many people tell me, well, you should eat 6 meals a day. No. No, bro. No. That is not normal. You don't see animals eating 6 meals a day, okay? When you see a sick animal, what does a sick or wounded animal do? They stop eating. Why do they stop eating? They stop eating because the body doesn't want to focus on digestion. It needs to focus on healing. Hold on, let me get the charger. Charger. Yeah, I run through the house. I don't walk. Charger. Dear Lord, where's the charger? Uh-oh. All right. We're halfway there. Halfway.
You just threw my charger.
Aha! We're gonna change scenery, shall we?
My charger.
All right. Okay, hold on. Let me get comfortable. So, can you take that in there for me, baby? Can you take that in your room because I can't hear over your Power Rangers.
What are you talking about?
Well, just take it in there.
But it's at low percent.
We'll take it in there and plug it into the wall. Here, this works right here. Take that with you. I love you, baby. You can come back in here in a minute, okay?
This is my hanging out area.
No, this is my hanging out area. Whatever. Yes, my doctor says eat 3 meals a day and 3 snacks. I eat once a day. I can't eat that much, but my chemo meds put weight on me. Now, I am not a doctor. Now, soon I will be a certified fitness person. But look into fasting and chemo, okay? There have been tons of people that have had great results. The fasting actually makes the body more resilient, and it makes it where it can handle the chemo better. Also, just FYI, okay? The C word is fed by sugar, okay? It eats sugar. Sugar causes it to grow. So if you take that sugar out of the equation, the C word it can't eat fat. It doesn't live off ketones. You know what ketones are, right? When your body starts creating the ketones, it's starting to live off the fat, okay? The C word does not eat fat or ketones. It can't use that as a fuel source. Sugar is its fuel source. So if you want to kind of help lessen growth, starve things out, me personally, I mean, you do what you want to do. Anybody, y'all listen, you can see how I have to talk in code. Me personally, if it was me, I would cut all sugar out of my life, okay? Anything that causes an insulin spike. Now, y'all have to understand all the different things that cause insulin spikes. If it is bread, pasta, all that kind of stuff spikes your insulin. When your insulin is spiked, you're gaining weight and you're feeding the C word, okay? So y'all do with that with what you want, all right? But me personally, if that was my situation, I personally would starve the C word and not provide it any sugar, okay? I would do meat. Like, I would do probably even check into carnivore. Carnivore is where you eat straight meat, no vegetables, no nothing, okay? There's a theory behind that. Vegetables, being that they can't move, they can't run away, the theory is that they would come up with a way to protect themselves, and it would be kind of like to poison you, okay? So, I don't know, I've never been really a veggie person. It's not been an appeal to me ever, and I've had huge successes with more on the meat side. I don't know if maybe some of us are more geared for different diets. I mean, maybe like different blood types, maybe different body comp. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But on that. But me personally, meat, animal products, really. But and the funny thing is, if you really got on like I am on an extreme low carb. I do eggs, bacon, sausage, meat, and do a little broccoli here and there. But when you eat like that, all those cravings go away. All these cravings that y'all have, they're really sugar cravings, okay? Sugar is a drug, all right? So if you've ever battled drug addiction, look at sugar, your food, the same way, okay? Sugar is in everything. It is a drug. They are drugging you when you've got that food in your system. It always keeps you hungry. When you are not eating it, your body is crying out for it because it's addicted to the sugar, okay? I cannot stress enough how evil sugar is, okay? Evil, all right? Evil, okay? Just go and not like sugar. Sugar's evil, okay? Even fake sugar. Avoid that too, guys. And the reason why, at least until you get all your weight off you. Because every time that sugar, even if it's not sugar, the sweet, as soon as it hits your taste bud, your body thinks there's sugar, so it starts acting like there's sugar. The insulin goes up. Think about everybody, who drinks diet drinks? Fat people. Think about it. Okay, fat people drink Diet Coke, Diet Soda, Diet this, Diet that, okay? It's because it's a scam. It's not going to make you thin. It's going to make you worse. Girl, please PM me how long you fast for and then how long can eat for in between. Let me explain fasting. Fasting is very fluid, okay? That's a good word for you. It's very fluid. I do not, nowadays, I literally kind of live what I consider a fasted lifestyle. Okay, now that comes kind of later, you know. Does my family fast as well? Well, my husband is like naturally like a 1 meal a day type of guy. Okay, he doesn't eat a lot. My youngest son eats way too much, and I'm trying to lessen that. I'm trying to lessen that.
Me?
Yeah, you. But my older sons are very fasted. They like fasted. So yeah, my husband's kind of a natural faster, which makes it a lot easier for me because I don't have somebody like feed me, feed me, feed me. You know what I'm saying? So that helps. Yeah, that's you. So yeah, I mean the poor kids are addicted to sugar. Everything they look at's got sugar in it, and I'm just trying my best to try to get this guy off of it. But I kind of have another force that hands him sugar that's not me. So you do the math. It's not me, it's somebody else that gives him sugar. Hey, go in there for a second so I can focus, okay? Go in there for me. You're doing all this crinkling and crackling and everything else. But yeah, so yeah, oh hey, it's a good question. It definitely your family starts to pick up on the fasting as you go. You know what I'm saying? And at first, they don't really understand what you're doing. They're like, everybody thinks you're just starving yourself, and they don't understand that you just need to use what's in the deep freeze. That's all it is. You just need to be able to use that. I mean, see this? I got collarbones, guys. Look at that. Look at that. Collarbones. That's not from working out. Okay? Yeah, collarbones. I have not been this small since I was like 20 years old, and I'm 42. So that tells you how this has been so much more successful for me than anything ever has. Let's see, what were we talking about? Let's see here. How long you fast for? Okay, so I'm in several fasting groups, right? And there's a lot of people that'll be like, they'll try to do these one-time fasts, and then they get frustrated with themselves because they can't do it very long. My thing is, you got to think of this as a marathon. Don't think of it like a sprint. So the best thing you can start doing in the beginning is getting yourself down to that 1 meal a day. So like I was saying in the beginning, my basic program, thank you, Shandy, thank you. My basic program that I run is OMAD. And I say program because I program myself, okay? Thank you, girl, thank you. Thank you, Katrina. My basic program is OMAD, okay? And like I said in the beginning, I was eating terrible, but now I eat much better. Now I eat low carb, and since I keep it, I got my go-to meal, which is either eggs and bacon, or I might make hamburger patties, and I'll eat that with maybe some mushrooms or something, but I don't eat any bread, So even when I do eat, I'm not putting on weight. And even if I did put on maybe a couple of pounds when I first start doing OMAD, it'll level itself off and it'll drop back down. So if you have a lot of weight to use, really just get yourself to 1 meal a day, right? 1 meal a day. Once 1 meal a day gets easy, do a 48-hour fast. The first time you go a whole day without eating, and I'm talking about from time you woke up, you went all day, you went to sleep and got up the next day. First of all, my first time, I really panicked in the nighttime. I mean, it was really like you would have thought I was going to die or something by morning, the way I felt. I felt so panicked that I was going to die. But then I woke up in the morning and I was fine. And that just let me know that, hey, I can live through a day without food, okay? It's not the end all be all. Now let me tell you, hunger comes in waves, okay? Hunger, I want you to really internalize this. Hunger is not an emergency, okay? Oh, 1 meal, not our kind of hunger, okay? It's not an emergency, okay? So, and then also, all that hungry feeling that you have is called ghrelin, okay? It's just a chemical. And then when your body, every day at the same time, like, say you're used to eating at 8, 12, and 5, or whatever, I don't know. Okay, whatever time you're used to eating, your body knows that it typically gets food at that time, right? Because it's an addict. And so then it starts kicking up that ghrelin, and it's like, I'm growling, I'm so hungry, right? And then basically, if you just wait 10 or 15 minutes, find something to do, it'll go right away. And then you'll be right back to normal. And then guess what? When it's time to eat again, your body says, we're hungry. And then you just don't eat. 15 minutes later, you're right back to normal. I have done the longest fast I've done. I've gone 6 days with no food. Okay, I haven't managed to go past 6, but I know people have gone way further. The hunger is actually less every day than you would think that you're going to be so like, I'm dying, I'm ravenous. No, it's not like that. Now, in the beginning, is fasting fun? No, because you're a drug addict, okay? You're a food addict. Your body's used to it. It wants that sugar. So it's going to have withdrawal symptoms the first couple of days, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you're in the beginning. Now, if that's why it's good to kind of get yourself down to that 1 meal a day first, and then go into, the longer fast, okay? Because that way you're kind of already getting used to the 24-hour, 24-hour fast, 24-hour fast, 24-hour fast, right? It's not as big of a deal. And your body starts to only get hungry that one time a day. But I just want you to know that even if you were to fast for several days, you don't get any hungrier. The only time I've gone 6 days several times. And each time, the only reason why I did start eating was because I started to feel faint, right? Which was actually a low electrolyte thing, which I didn't really realize. So now I'm being much more, I'm doing much more with the electrolytes. I had mentioned that a while back, but I've been doing good, staying on water. I used to be big on sodas. Yeah, girl, watch. My mama told me this when I was young, okay? And this stuck with me. That when you drink a soda, it's like got the same amount of sugar in it as like a piece of pie. And I was like, what? If I'm going to get that much sugar, I'm going to eat pie. So I've been a water drinker for a very, very long time because I didn't want to waste my calories on drinks. I liked food. Let's see here. But let me tell you, I get the migraines from no sugar. Migraines, still battling the no sugar. Now, is it really the sugar or is it the caffeine that you're getting the migraines from? And, another thing, Shandy, you might want to try this, the cacao. So let me show y'all my stuff. Hold on. This right here, cacao powder, okay? All right? It's got magnesium and vitamin C. So let me tell you what that is. Cacao is chocolate. Yummy. I drink a chocolate drink every morning. I just don't put sugar in it, okay? And it gives you, when you have cacao, it helps your body get magnesium and manage magnesium much better, right? If you are deficient in magnesium, guess what you get? Migraines. You get migraines, you get fatigue, you get depression. I don't have it up in front of me, but when I tell you that the lack of magnesium, a lot of people that have all these symptoms, they think they're depressed and all this. It's really just it's just magnesium deficiency. Okay. So get you some cacao, drink that every day. Really, you can't get too much of it. If you were to get too much of the cocoa, you're just going to give yourself the runs. Your tummy's going to hurt a little bit and you're going to go to the bathroom. That's another reason why I like it. Just being honest, it helps keep those bowels moving really, really nice. Think of like a soft serve machine. That's all I'm going to say. But so if you have any issues in the constipation department, that cacao will take care of it. In the morning time, when I start cooking that stuff, because I make a drink every morning, I swear. So what I'll do is I boil 3 cups of distilled water in the morning. I like distilled because distilled is empty water and it pulls out the junk out of your cells. Note to self. So I'll boil 3 distilled waters. I put in, I got a scooper in that thing that I took out of a protein shake canister. So I took that scooper. So it's like what a protein shake scooper looks like. Okay. So I use that and I use 1 scoop of that. And then I go ahead and put instant coffee in it because it's like a coffee drink for me too. And then I have cacao butter, and I'm actually out of my cacao butter right now, so I put coconut oil in it this morning for kind of like fats, just to kind of help get your ketones up, get your metabolism running, or get your energy up type of thing. So I drink that every morning, and that's what I was talking about with cocoa. Cocoa, because it has all that, it's so rich in magnesium and stuff, it helps with the migraines, fatigue, constipation, just a general feeling of wellness. Chocolate gives you happy endorphins, like in your brain, so it gives you like a general feeling of wellness. For me, it's been a game changer. Oh, and I was talking about the cycle earlier, and I was saying I would gain like 10 pounds every month. Since I have been using my cacao, my cacao drink, so this has been going on maybe like 3 months or so, I literally lose weight on my cycle. Like daily. It's no problem. I don't gain weight and I don't bloat at all when I'm drinking, because I'm drinking the cocoa. And that's been the only change as far as like a big change from what I was already doing, is I've added the cocoa, and that's been, like I said, 2 or 3 months now that I've been doing that. And it's been a game changer. I really have liked it a lot. So like today was every week. I always do no food Mondays, okay? And it's a big thing in my group. I got a lot of people that do no food Mondays. So y'all are all welcome to join. When I say no food, you could drink like, I did have some broth because I need electrolytes. I need salt. I need salt. So I did have some broth, but no solid foods or anything on Mondays. And I do it on Monday because, on the weekend, maybe you went somewhere, maybe you had bad food, whatever. It's always a nice reset on Mondays to go ahead and don't eat on Monday. That way it gets you reset for the week. It gets your head back in the game, and it gets you back moving, right? I weigh every day, all right? And I know, and I used to avoid the scale like a plague, right? Because if I got on the scale and it went up, I was sad-faced. But I had a boss, I had the guy that is like the bigwig at my company. I was in a meeting with him, and because I was in this mentorship whole training thing, and this guy is like slim trim dude, okay, slim trim worker outer, no fat on him at all. And he said he weighs every day, and I was like, what? Why do you weigh every day? Like, I'm looking at him like, and he said, well, if I don't check the numbers, how can I know where I'm at, and how can I measure my results? And I was like, that is genius. So I literally had went and bought a scale at that point, and I weigh every day. Sorry, I got mascara going on. So I weigh every day, okay? Now, the thing is, that scale is honest, all right? When you get on it, if it went up, well, guess what? You didn't behave yesterday, right? Maybe you'll behave better today. So if you weigh every day, that's part of the reason why when we went to Corona and everything went crazy and I started gaining weight, I couldn't stand the look of the scale going up, and I had to get it back together, right? So when all these other people were gaining so much weight on Corona, it didn't happen to me. When starting one meal a day, how do you choose which meal time? Okay, meal times. A lot of people like a dinner time. Me personally, I am of the around noonish. And here's why. When you wake up in the morning, your body is ready to go. Now, you don't need to eat the moment you wake up. Don't do that. Because when you wake up, you've had a nice fast all night, right? And then, give yourself a couple more hours to kind of just go through that. Drink the cocoa if you want. That's cool. Go through it, right? I like to eat around 12, and here's why. If I eat around 12, my body is fired up because it's early, right? Which means it's going to burn the fat faster and better. It's going to digest it faster, right? Whereas, and then also, by the time I go to bed, I'm back on an empty tank. I do not like to sleep with the stomach full of food. It makes me feel bloated. I start feeling like I'm getting acid reflux. I don't like to eat and lay down, okay? Like I was saying earlier, your body is super smart, but it can only do so much at one time. If you put food in it, it's got to focus on digestion, right? Whereas if you doesn't have food, it can focus on other stuff.
It's like when I have like overload too much chicken.
Yeah, too much chicken is not good. Too much anything is not good.
Too much fries?
Too much fries is terrible.
Well, 'cause I had an overload on those occasions.
Yeah, oh, okay. You know.
My stomach got upset.
Well, go ahead. Hey, let me chit chat right now. I don't do this often, so just let me do it. Okay, back to sorry, he distracted me. Back to your question. So, I like that. It gives my body plenty of time to work it off, and that way, when I go to sleep, I don't know if y'all know this, but when you go to sleep, that's when your body does all the healing, right? So if I go to sleep and my body's trying to digest, guess what it can't do? It can't do all the healing it needs to do. It can't suck all that weight off of me like it wants to. So I go ahead and eat early. That way I'm not I'm empty by the time I go to bed. Same here. I normally don't eat the first 12 hours. Yeah, so eat early enough that all that digestion is done before you go to bed, and that's why I like noonish. I think it's a good time, noon to 3ish. You know what I'm saying? If you can. Noon to 3ish is kind of good. Now nowadays I can't really eat a whole bunch at one time just because I'm so, like I said, I live a very fasted lifestyle. So when I do eat, they've gotten cleaner, and they've gotten much smaller. I used to eat really huge portions like my whole life. That was normal to me, and I thought that was normal. You're welcome, girl. I thought that was normal. And it's funny because now, even when I do eat, my portion sizes are so, like when I look at them in my now eyes, it looks normal to me. But when I kind of think back to the way I used to eat food, the portions, it's like I eat like a 4-year-old like size food, right? Like I eat really tiny portions now. And that wasn't on purpose. It just kind of happened over time. But say you have a meal and you can't eat it all at once, like it's just too much, kind of give yourself an hour or two to finish it. It doesn't have to be like you shoveled it all in, you know what I'm saying? As long as it's like that one meal, but you just don't want to drag it on too long. I definitely do not recommend drinking sweet drinks all day long. Every time you take in sugar, you switch yourself back into the fat saving mode. So think about if you're drinking sweet tea. Fat saving mode, 10 minutes later. Fat saving mode, 10 minutes later. Fat saving mode. You see what I'm saying? Like every time you take in something sweet, you just told your body again to go ahead and start saving that stuff. So just don't even do it. Just don't even do it. Do you have any other questions? I don't have anything else right now. I'm going to start doing this pretty often, because I have been doing it mainly in our fasting groups, but I want the people that I know. Almond milk, what's the calorie count on, or what's the carb count on that? That would be my question. What's the carb count? Now, see, when I do are you trying to drink almond milk just by itself? Like, what are you trying to do with the almond milk? Are you trying to put it in coffee, or just drink it by itself, or... Yeah, what's the almond milk going to be for? Let's see, give it a second to come up. I would say watch the carb count. If you're using it for like maybe a coffee drink, in your coffee, I wouldn't use the almond milk. I would use whipping cream. Whipping cream is an animal product. It's all fat, and you can get no sugar. Right? So you're just getting straight ketones. Think of it that way. You're getting your straight keto versus getting spikes in your insulin. So let's see here. Oh man, Gwen, why did you have to say sweet tea? Sweet tea's the devil, girl. Sugar. I use almond milk in the protein shake. I want to drink it with water. Try this. And I don't know how it would taste, but maybe just take one of your protein shakes, and instead of use water, do the protein shake, and then put the whipping cream in there. The whipping cream will bring back that creaminess, right? But there's no carbs. I would try that. And that's the thing. You kind of try things and see how it works, right? If you're weighing every day, and then you try something, okay, this is the point of weighing every day. If your weight's going up, you know to ex-nay it. But if your weight's going down, you know you're doing good. So I did that with the cacao. I didn't know in the beginning. I had a theory that the cacao would be great, but I didn't know what it would really do to me. So I experimented upon myself, and I would wait every morning and take note of it, so that way I knew what it was doing. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, even on the protein shake, Shandy, try doing the drink that I'm talking about, the cacao and everything. You may not even need the protein shake. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Let's see here. But yeah, back to Katrina. Yeah, that sweet tea is, every time you drink it in, you're telling your body to store fat. Store fat. Now, what I would suggest, if you like tea, start lessening the sugar. Okay, whatever you're putting in it now, put less in it tomorrow, less in it the next day, less in it until eventually you don't use sugar anymore. That's what I do with my coffee. I used to pour lots of sugar in my coffee. I mean, I don't even know how much I poured in there. It was just like a... You know what I'm saying? I have no idea, okay? And so God knows I was used to a very sweet taste. So basically I just started cutting back on that sugar, and I started paying attention to how much I was putting in. And eventually I just stopped putting any sugar in it at all. I did that with the tea too. Well, that's good. So, you know, focus on it and drop that sugar, okay? Any other questions?
My tummy's hurting like so bad now.
Oh, your stomach's hurting. Well, I need to put you on the program. You need to be on the program.
It's because I'm doing too much.
Y'all, hey, share this on your page. Go ahead and turn the notifications on, so that way when I do the lives, y'all will know. Because I'm just going to be doing more and more of them. I'm trying to spread the health and let people know what's out there. That it's not all just about eating 6 meals a day. I mean, literally, if you started fasting, say you did a 3-day fast, you could probably drop like 10 pounds. Now, how long would it take you to do that in the more traditional fashion? And then people be like, well, you'll gain it right back. I beg to differ. I mean, you gain it back eventually if you go right back to whatever you were doing, because that's what got you there to begin with, right? But if you keep at it, think of fasting like a practice. You're welcome, girl. Think of fasting like a practice, okay? You're practicing fasting. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets, okay? So that's all I'm going to say for now. I done talked y'all's ears off. And thank you for staying, man. That was really cool. I love you guys.